a companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Tufayl ibn Amr, a beautiful story. I'll mention it very briefly. This companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted Islam just by listening to the Quran. He came to Makkah al-Mukarramah. He was a chief of his tribe. The tribe's name was Dos. And the tribe of Dos was known to party. You know, you guys think in Miami you know how to party? No. I'm sure you guys don't know. You guys are religious people, mashallah. The tribe of Dos was known how to party. They knew how to do it. These people partied all day, all night. They did everything possible. Tufayl ibn Amr says that he was from the tribe of Dos. He performed Hajj frequently every year in the times of Jahiliyyah. When he came to Makkah al-Mukarramah, Abu Jahl came to him and said to him whispers about the Prophet of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam. And he said to Tufayl ibn Amr that this man by the name of Muhammad, he's such and such person. He ruins families, he ruins people's relationship. He's not a good person. If you so happen to come across him, stay away from him. They fed his ears so immensely with horrible things that Tufayl ibn Amr says, Wallahi la adkhulu al-masjid illa sadun udhunayya. That I will not enter the masjid until I put earplugs in my ears. When I enter the masjid, I will put earplugs in my ears, because if I come across this person, perhaps I might change. And I don't want to change. فَإِنَّمَا حَدِيثُهُ كَالسِّحْرِ. Because when the Prophet ﷺ, he speaks, na'udhu billah, he is like a magician. He's being fed with these propagandas. Tufayl ibn Amr says, I walked around the Ka'batullah. As I'm walking around the Ka'batullah, I see a man standing and praying. As I walked around, I noticed this man, and I kept getting closer and closer. And he says, the idea of getting closer to this man became very important to me. I had to see what this person was about. I heard so much bad things, but I'm a man that can make a judge of character. I can understand whether he's good or bad. He says, I came closer to the Prophet of Allah, and I listened carefully to what he's about to say. Tufayl ibn Amr says, فَلَمْ أَسْمَعْ قَطُّ كَلَامًا أَحْسَنْ مِنْ كَلَامٍ يَتَكَلَّمُ بِهِ. He says, I heard the Prophet ﷺ was speaking. I have never heard anyone say something more beautiful than the words that came out of the mouth of Rasulullah ﷺ. After performing his Hajj, he says, I went to the house of Rasulullah ﷺ. I knocked on his door. Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha opened the door. As she opened the door, I asked, where is the Prophet of Allah? And the Prophet of Allah came out. And Tufayl ibn Amr says, I asked the Prophet of Allah, are you that same man that the people say that you are a sorcerer and you are a magician? And the Prophet of Allah smiled. He smiled. My brothers and sisters, when are we going to smile to our kids? Islam was spread by smiling and being kind. It wasn't spread by yelling at our children. And I tell my son Zakaria, just before coming up, he says, you got to say my name. You have to say my name. I said, I'll try. If I remember, I'll say your name. Please make dua for him. He's started hifz. Make dua that Allah make him a shaykh one day. A shaykh that not only understands what Islam is about, but also puts it into practice. So Tufayl ibn Amr accepted Islam. My brothers and sisters, this is that same Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to learn. Implement this Quran, bring it into your life, bring it into the life of your children, and I swear by Allah, you will find success in your life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that understanding. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to bring this Quran into our life, into the life of our children.